everyone, and welcome to the G3 Boardroom. Today we are going to be talking about our top 10 three-player games. Obviously we play a lot of games with just the three of us, and some are better than others. We play a lot of games outside of the channel also, with larger or smaller groups, and we think we've what?
I thought you were going to say larger or smaller people.
Larger or smaller people. There's our top 10 games to play with people that are about 150 to 250 pounds. So we'll be talking about our best three-player games. These aren't our best games that are out there, but they're games that we feel play the best at three.
They're the best games out there. Take our recommendations. Yeah.
Which was different than our previous list, was the best three games for 10 players, right?
Yeah, let's do the best three games for 10 players. Actually, we had Cartographers and Formula D.
Red Dragon Inn.
And Red Dragon Inn. Okay, so that list is done.
All right. Best three-player games. Again, they don't only have to be three-player games.
Right.
They could be...
Right, these are games that could be
Best
played
games
up
played
to...
at 3 players.
Yes, that enable 3 players.
That's called foreshadowing.
No, it's 3 shadowing.
It's disappointing. Let's move on.
Number 10. We chose Corridor to start off our list, and the reason that we chose this game, actually this game isn't supposed to be played with 3 players. It's supposed to be played explicitly with 2 or 4. But like Thanos finding the 7th Infinity Stone, the board game stone, it's 20-sided, and bending the will of the Gameaverse to our whim, we played this game with 3 players, and it was kind of fun. Worked out pretty well.
It definitely was unique, that's for sure.
Now, what you're supposed to do in this game is you're supposed to just one person starts on one side and one on the other, or all 4, and you're just moving. You got to move your piece across, and while your opponents are putting these little cheese barricades in front of you, then you have to go around it. And like I said, it's supposed to be side to side or 2 sides to 2 sides.
Stop it.
Stop it.
You're absolutely right. We played this game with 3, and we had a lot of fun doing it. Now, what you have to consider is it's not meant to be played that way. So someone's going to end up playing spoiler constantly. So if you watch our video, you'll see why I think it was Jay gets the fork in the eye. Fork in the eye.
At one point, but it was still pretty even, and still it did not break the game at all.
No, it was fun.
No, I didn't feel like anybody ran away with it at all.
No.
But no, I enjoyed it. It was definitely unique. That's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Play with your friends who are jerks, who are just out to ruin somebody else's day as opposed to win for themselves.
Right.
Had a blast. It was a good game of 3.
Number
9.
Yeah, the number 9 game of games to play when you don't have very many friends is Cascadia.
Well, that's sad.
You have a lot of friends that enjoy Cascadia.
Our number 9 game of games that you want to just hoard for your favorite friends and tell everyone, screw you guys, you can't play, is Cascadia.
Cascadia, great game. It's a tile laying game where you as an individual are trying to build up your national park by providing the correct territories, the correct land, and you put down certain animals to score points, and you get patterns and what have you based off these cards. It can be played anywhere from 1 to 4 players. I've played this game from 2 to 4 players, and I think it's just got a nice sweet spot at 3 players. You don't feel like you are always missing on the tile you need. You don't feel like you're always one turn behind of what you need. And it worked really well at 3. It had a good pace, it moved pretty quick. But
yeah, I think a lot of the games that we'll have on this list are games that can be played with a lot more, obviously, but sometimes the games would bog down if there's more than 3, and sometimes with 2 it's just not enough.
Yeah, that can happen, especially with competitive games.
Yeah, I like this one quite a bit at 3. It's like you said, you never feel like you're missing out on things, and when you add a 4th person, you do feel like you're missing out. It's like, I could have got that, I could have got that. These people took all my stuff. And it adds that extra layer that I don't like. So at 3 it was really good. I also liked all the little bonuses. I think we had a bear out there that was like, oh, it's a mama bear. And that became the joke the whole time. But no, it's really good at 3. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like the theme of the game, just the kind of the nature-based theme. And it's nice to be able to, with 3, to do what you want to do, but not really run away with it. There were some games that, we talked about when making our list, like, Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is super, super easy at 3 players, but it's almost like too much. You need some people to be... there's some games that are awesome, like Formula D, but with games like that, the more people, the better. This game might be okay with 4, but it's better with 3. Number 8 on our list of best 3-player games.
Number 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. The expectation was there. I did not fulfill it.
I missed my mark.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. Number 8
is Azul.
Azul.
Yes. There is no Dana, only Azul.
Yeah.
It actually says that in the rules.
Does really?
Whoever makes that joke loses.
Oh.
It says that in the rules?
Yes.
No, it does not. Oh no, this won't take long.
Where is it?
Right in your mind, I think.
I'm telling you, I've seen it in here.
I think it was a wonderful dream you had.
I swear I read it in here. We have a house rule. Whoever makes that joke, you lose. You automatically lose the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I played with people with much harsher rules against saying that. So, okay, I'll take that.
It's a what I would call a tile drafting game. You choose what you want, you make your patterns, and you hit your points. But it does work really well at 3. Again, it's one of those games where you don't feel like you're just missing out on everything all the time. By the time it gets to you, I got nothing. I don't get that feeling with this game. I really don't. But no, it's lovely at 3. I think 2, it's just it doesn't hit it at 2. It's sweet spot on here is 3.
And especially at 2, I think again those competitive games at 2 are difficult because you can really just gang up on the person you're going against, and you really don't have a chance to catch up sometimes. And at 4, one of the rules in this game is when you draw any tile you want, the rest go into the middle. And if you're the 4th player and you're coming around, you could be stuck with just taking all the garbage, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
At 3 players, it tends to be less than the chance that happens.
First?
But no, I enjoy this game quite a bit, and I think, like Jason said, it's a beautiful game. I think the pieces are amazing, and it's a pretty game to look at.
Yeah, it seems like this game's been around for a while. And we played it for a long time, but the best times are with 3 players.
Yeah, it's great at 3 players.
Number 7.
7.
Right. Totally in sync.
Number 7, Dead Men Don't Tell No Tales. This is a cooperative game where you are attempting to grab some treasure off a haunted pirate ship that is ready to explode. It's on fire and ready to blow up. And you're working together with your other crewmates to grab as much treasure as you can, get off the boat before you either get overrun by the skeleton pirates,
skulls,
by the bosses that are out trying to stab you with their swords, or before the boat blows up. But this game plays up to 5 players, and I think at 5 players it's just too many. But I'll let you guys talk about that. But
too crowded at 5.
At 3, I think it's the sweet spot for this game at 3.
I enjoy this game too, but it just seems to me, like you said, at more than 3 people, you just get overrun. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's one of those games where you sit there and you wait, and then by the time it comes to your turn, whatever you had in mind is totally blown because now you're overrun.
Yep.
And it just slides out of control too fast at 5. At 3, you're more of a sweet spot. You're able to control things a little bit better, and it is a lot of fun. Now, we've played this game before, but Jason doesn't seem to remember the barrage of skulls. It's all the skulls all the time. It's almost worse than Dark Tower spitting skulls at you.
Yes. I mean, a lot of games, this one is you can play from 2 to 5.
Correct.
The difference between a 2-player game and a 3 or up player game is just there's a big gap there. The best 2-player games that I've seen were designed for 2 players, Kyperium, things like that. A game that, you can do 2 up to 5. It just seems you might as well just be like 3 to 5, and in this case, 3 is best.
Absolutely. Plus, I love a good pirate game.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great game, and especially at 3 players, everybody feels like they're completely participating and adding to the victory. Or more importantly, probably the loss.
Adding to the loss. So now we have number 7?
Number 6.
Number 6. Just counting backwards is difficult.
Numbers are hard.
Number 6.
6.
Thanos Rising.
An
Avengers Infinity War game.
All right, so Thanos Rising. This one, I like this game. You spin Thanos around, and it's kind of like It's kind of like spin the Thanos.
And one thing, if I could interject, it's kind of nice to see a figure that's already pre-painted, because I feel it's just so inadequate with all these games with nothing painted, and they never do get painted because I'm not good at that.
I have no such talent.
So it's like, it's nice to have a game where they're like, yeah, we got this. We know that you can't paint it. We'll paint it for you.
So in this one, you start building up a team. You defeat bad guys. You're rolling dice. You build up your team, and you start gathering different kinds of dice in order to go out and complete the objectives. And you're doing all these things before Thanos can get all the Infinity Stones and snap you out of existence.
Yeah.
And it's a good game. I really like it at 3. Like I said, it rotates around. But this is one of those games where if you have too many more than the sweet spot, if you do have that 4th player, it seems like by the time it gets to your turn, you have been completely pummeled. Everything bad has happened. It's beyond recoverable, and you can't catch up. That's my opinion on it anyway. I like it at 3. At 4, it's too much. At 2, it seems like it's too easy. Nothing's going on.
Yeah, I've played this game everywhere from 2 to 4 players. It's a cooperative game, so you really got to work together and make sure that you're building balanced teams with each other. Make sure that nobody's grabbing too many of the powerful guys, and you're left with nothing.
What?
I'm not looking at you.
I like to get all the healing things, all of them, and not help anyone.
But no, I think at 4 players it can work well, but I think at 3 players, again, it allows everybody, again, similar to other games, you really feel like you're truly participating, really helping out, as opposed to just being a spectator.
Especially for a cooperative game. With the cooperative game, it seems that the more the better, the more cooperation, the better. But this one maxes out at 4, and it just, there's just too many people at 4. So
you can have 10 people in this one too.
Stop it. And
10 plus, yes.
It's ironic because I've played a lot of games in this realm with the mechanics. Like there's the Star Wars version where you're attacking Darth Vader. There's the Harry Potter version. There's a Batman version where you like the evil Batman, you're attacking him, and I think at 3 players it's much more difficult than at 2 players. So this one really works well at 3 players. So
Riddler Rising.
It's called Batman Rising, or the Batman Who Laughs.
The Laugh Man.
But no, I recommend this one at 3.
Oh yeah, 3 is good.
Number 5.
Hey, we almost
Number
synced up.
5.
Oh no! You blew it. I think he did it on purpose.
Number 5 is Black Orchestra. It's a cooperative game where you are working together. It's sort of based on Operation Valkyrie, the attempt by Hitler's inner circle to assassinate him. And so what you do is you play as one of the people in his inner circle, and you're trying to find and assassinate Hitler.
You pile up cards, you get a plot. I believe it's called a plot. You get a plot, and then you got to collect all the things that go with the plot. Like, I need the poison, or I need the explosives, and you got to wander around Germany. What I think is a really cool mechanic in this game is there's a time element. As the years go on, there's World War II, so Germany acquires more territory, and then as it gets later on, you're losing territory, so you cannot acquire these things so much anymore. For me, anyway, this one, it's one of those ones that it plays great at 3, but it plays not so great at more than 3, because the bad stuff that happens, it can pile up on you. It can pile up on you fast. It can cost you entire turns well before your turn. So on your turn, my turn can be toast because of bad stuff that happened to you.
Because the suspicion rises or something.
When you have more people, it happens faster and faster and faster. And so, we'll all end up getting captured by the Gestapo. And that is no good. As anyone will tell you, that is no good.
Now you think that in a game where you're trying to cover ground and gather things that the more people the better, but you're able to move around enough on this game with 3 players that you don't need 4. And like you said, the map is going to start constricting at some point. So
Right, and one of the key parts of this game is, you mentioned collecting items, but a lot of these plots, in order to assassinate Hitler, you have to sometimes work together and be in the same spot.
Yeah.
And when you have 4 or 5 players playing this game, it makes it extremely difficult to get everybody in the same spot.
Yeah.
Right.
So I gotta go get Dave out of prison again. Now I'm in prison again.
Yes.
And I've got it all here. Now I gotta get Dave out of prison.
So I played this game quite a bit from, I think it was 2 to 5 players. I don't know if there's a solo mode or not, but
Any game has a solo mode.
that's really, really sad.
So the loneliest man ever.
Yeah, 1 to 5. See, but I've played it. I've not played it solo. I've played all the way up to 5 players. But yeah, the sweet spot for this game is 3 because of that particular reason. When you got to get everybody in the same spot, it's extremely difficult with more and more players.
Absolutely. It's got some cool historical stuff to it, which is, of course, would be there if you were playing at 5.
Yeah.
But at 3, it's really, really good. And it's one of the few games where you can play as Tom Cruise.
Now, there's some iconography that can be offensive, extremely offensive, and sensitive, but again, we have to remember that it's history.
It is history. Yeah.
Number 4.
4.
Dave's not even participating
No,
anymore.
he-
He's like,
up.
screw those guys.
Yeah.
Number 4.
There he is.
Thanks. Number 4 is 5 Minute Marvel. We love the 5-minute, vast 5-minute franchise of 5 Minute Marvel and 5 Minute Dungeon.
It's vast.
Yeah. But this one, we just like it better than 5 Minute Dungeon. We love Marvel, and there's some mechanics in here that are a little bit better.
Yeah, I enjoy both versions of this game, the 5 Minute Dungeon and the 5 Minute Marvel, but I think this one works better, especially at the 3 player, because I think this is 2 to 4 players or
8 plus. Oh, that joke never gets old. 2 to 5.
2 to 5. Okay, similar to the 5 Minute Dungeon, this is a 2 to 5 player game, and when you are playing your cards, because in this game you're just dropping cards as fast as you can to try and defeat these tasks, defeat these minions, and it feels like at 5 players, some people just sit there and never participate because they don't react as quickly as others.
Some people are faster than others.
And at 3 players, especially with the Marvel version, you have a much more opportunity, especially with the way they set up the decks and the cards. Everybody has a more equal number of resources as opposed to one color that you specialize in. So it's a great game at three players.
I like this one a lot because the cards do feel more balanced. The individual cards they have feel much more balanced. Then you have the unique power of the character you've chosen, and that balances things out even more. In 5 Minute Dungeon, you can end up with a bad draw, and you just end up, well, gee whiz, all I got is blue, so let's restart.
Yeah, it's not going to be bad at 4 or 5 players, but like Dave said, I think that 4th and 5th player, they're not going to be as participating as much, and they're going to, kind of get skipped. And I think that you're going to have a lot of wasted people throwing resource cards and wasting their resource cards. I think 3 players is just the best spot for it, where everyone's contributing, and that timer can get down pretty close, even with everyone running very efficiently, and the efficiency you get with 3 players.
Yeah, nobody feels like they're left out.
Right. The fun of this game is based on the frantic activity going on. And at 5, it is actually too much. At 3, sweet. Smooth.
Nice.
Number 3 is Marvel Legendary.
Marvel Legendary. This game's a granddaddy. I love this game. It's perfect at 3. At 4, it's almost too much. At 3, it's smooth.
Yeah. And actually, I would have to say at 3, it actually is a little bit better than at 2.
We love this game on this channel. If you've seen our video of our top 10 intellectual property-based games, Marvel Legendary was at the top of that list. And it also made our best 3-player list because it just plays so well at 3 players.
If you haven't seen that other video, watch the rest of this video, then go back and watch that video, like both videos. This game just keeps getting larger and larger and larger. There's 20 plus expansions to it. They push out 3 a year, and it makes you fall behind, but they're all quality items. And I can't think of anything bad to say about this game. But when you get to 4 people, what will happen is you take a turn, villain comes out, because you draw a villain card first time. beginning of every turn. So villain card comes out, then he goes and villain card comes out, then Dave goes, villain card comes out, then your fourth player goes and villain card comes out, and it gets back to me, and everything's gone to hell.
Yeah. The entire city is overrun, and you've got a bunch of noobs.
And you've still got a starting hand.
A bunch of noobs in your hand.
Yeah.
Nothing. And so at 4 people, the game will bury you in a hurry.
If you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things, though, especially at 2 players, when you set up the deck, they give you a little reprieve by putting these bystanders in the deck.
Yeah.
At 2 players,
Just
you
2.
get 2.
Yep.
When you add that 3rd player, it goes from 2 bystanders up to 8.
Yeah.
Which is a huge difference.
And you add another mercenary group, or
another
bad guy
henchman
group,
which tend to be easier to defeat.
And so it adds that much more to the game at between 2 and 3. At 4, like I said, bad stuff. Bad.
Right.
Bad.
Anytime there's a big rule change that has the potential to, make it a lot better or a lot worse for that new rule set.
I give him credit for trying to balance it.
And you were correct. It's a villain group, not a henchman group.
Yeah, fair enough. I give him credit for trying to balance it, but at 4 it becomes overly burdened. At 2 it's good. At 3 it's great.
Don't get me wrong. I would play this game with 5 people anytime. That's how much I enjoy the game. But I think 3 is the sweet spot. Absolute sweet
Solo
spot.
mode.
You can play this solo. You can absolutely play this game solo. And sadly, yes, I have many, many times.
Yeah. Recommend it. Go get it.
Number 2.
2.
Thanks for coming along, Dave.
My pleasure.
Horrified. It's a great game. We played it a lot. And it's.
Is that your...
Is that your...
What is that?
It's
Is that a
gonna be
mummy? Is that a vampire? What the hell is that?
Scary monster.
Scary
That's
monster.
scary.
It's Horrified, yeah. It could be an old man who found, fresh fruit.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, Horrified, you're going to say something about it. Go.
I was going to say it's our number 2 game, and it plays really great at 3 players. That I got totally thrown off by whatever he was doing.
Yeah, Horrified, it's a cooperative game. Again, you can play 1 through 5 players. And again, you have no friends. You still can play this game. It's okay.
Some people like to play solo. They got friends. They just like to play solo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you tell yourself?
Yeah. I don't need friends. I got you guys.
It's going to be very similar, but in this case, I think this reaches up to number 2 because I've played this game everywhere from, yes, I have played this solo, 1 through 5,
see.
and it just feels like it works so well at 3. At 3, it's perfect. It's so good at 3.
Well, you're running around, you're trying to avoid some of the bad guys, and if you're
Correct.
too crowded, it just seems you need a little bit of space to move and to avoid the bad guys.
Absolutely, and there's a timer mechanism with this game when you're drawing cards from the deck, and as soon as you run out of that deck, you're out of time.
Yeah.
And at 4 or 5 players, it just feels like I've taken 3 turns and
we're
the
done.
game's already done.
Yeah.
At 3 players, it just feels perfect. It is so balanced. It works so well. I really, really enjoy this game, but at 3, I think it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. I think you said it all there, and that's the problem is there's that card that's drawn at every turn, and it's not like more gets added to that deck when you add more players, and so at too many players it goes too fast, and I don't feel like you have enough time to accomplish the things you need to accomplish.
Very enjoyable game now. I haven't played the new version,
American Monsters.
Oh, okay.
So I can't speak to that one. This is the original.
My understanding is that they kind of kept the same mechanic, just added different monsters. So hopefully, because this is a great mechanic, and hopefully they didn't noodle with it too much and mess it up.
Well, let us know, because if you've played it, I'd like to know.
So Horrified, well-deserved position at 2.
Number
just
2.
For all the fun you have playing it with 3 players.
Yeah, great game.
Oh, your tongue is so red. Number 1. Our number 1 game that we enjoy playing with 3 players, that we believe is the best game to play with 3 players.
It's what?
Is the
I know what you're thinking.
The Mind. This is a great game. This game is it's almost like a party game, which I consider sort of a different category of board games, where it's really, really light and super, super easy. Like, I know a lot of people that have never heard of 99% of the games that are behind us. You know, they've only played Monopoly, but they've heard of the Mind, and they've played the Mind, you know. But still, this game is just so fun.
You're absolutely right. This game is a blast at 3 players. It sounds goofy. Okay, the game is played. It's a deck of cards, 1 through 100, and the objective is to put them in order, lowest to highest, without speaking. It's
not a word.
I have never laughed so hard in a game where you're not allowed to talk as I have in this game.
Truth, yeah.
And, you know, because I've got like 24, but so you start staring at people, and we've gone back and forth about making an actual video for the channel about this game, and we couldn't do it justice. It'd be 3 dudes sitting there just not saying anything
and laughing their butts off,
like lunatics. And so you can't do it justice. So we never made a video of it. But it is a great game at 3 people. As I understand it, when this game was originally released at Spiel, there was a line around the block of people waiting to play the demo version of this game. It's fantastic, and it's like $13.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And so if you ruin one of the cards, go spend another $13 and get another copy of it. And these people deserve your money for this game.
But that's the genius of this game, is that it's so simple.
Yeah.
And that's just pure genius.
Yeah, and the mechanics behind it, at 2 players you have to get up to level 12, at 4 players you have to get up to level 8, and both are very difficult. I've only won this game like twice, and I've probably played it about 50 times. But at 3 players you have to get to level 10, you get enough lives, you get enough extra help here, and you don't feel like at 3 players that you are. Again, I always want people to feel like they're participating, and you really feel like you're completely engaged no matter where you are in the game.
I'm just wondering if there's some kind of a statistical or behavioral thing when it comes to like 3 people trying to guess what they have, because it just seems like with 4 people, it's a little off. It's just a little bit weird. But with 3 people, the 20 just came out. You know, I've got the 28.
Right.
You know, and I've got 2 other people that I got to figure out, you know, do they have something below that? And it just seems like if you're trying to guess 3 other people, it just seems like it's, you know, too much.
Exactly.
You know, if you got 1 other person, well, a lot of it comes down to statistical probability. With 3 people and above, I think the statistical probability is way too advanced for anyone to figure it out. But I just think behaviorally, it's just more interesting at 3.
It's not just that, but I've always found whenever I try to play this with 4 people, the 4th person is always like a gunslinger. You know, so you play like a 10. 72, come on!
Yeah. Hair trigger.
It happens every time. It's like, hey, I gotta throw you out of this game so we can play it and try to win.
Yeah, definitely at 3 players, it's much easier to read the people's body language and their mannerisms to know, okay, how close are they to the next number? And boy, when you play this game, you are going to wish that you could actually burn people with your stares, just burn right through the back of their skull.
Homelander vision.
You play your card, but you can't say anything. So
if looks could kill, you would not be feeling so well. No, it's perfect at 3. And maybe it's just because we played enough games with each other, different board games, that when we play something like this, we're already many pages ahead of a normal group.
Yeah, maybe it's easier to find, maybe groups of 3 bond tighter or something over the years than, groups of 4 or something. But this is definitely a game that's fun to play with people that you've known for a long time. And, I guess I played it with people that I didn't know too well either. And it's still fun. You get to know them pretty well.
I would say this, before we continue to wax philosophical on this for the next hour or so, go buy that game. $13, go get it.
And it's a quick game too. We could play a round
lose almost instantly.
Yeah, yeah. You can play one of these in just a few minutes. I know you got to get up to like level 10, but each round is,
you get more and more cards.
Quick. Yeah,
it does go quick.
Yeah.
I actually I feel like the game is easier when you have more cards. It's when you're in the first round, you got 1 card, you know, I could have 36, you could have 37. We're going to stare at each other for 45 minutes. Like, I'm not playing. Well, I'm not playing. You know?
Right.
But when you have a lot more cards, it's easier to have the next card. So if someone plays a 31, 32. You know,
right.
Easier to do that.
Right.
Easier to make a jump of 5 than a jump of 10.
Or 15.
Yeah.
Or if first round, everybody starts in the 50s.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to play a
Nobody
card.
plays with it. They just stare at each other for a while. You know, put on a basketball game or something.
Yeah. It's always funny because then by the time you're the first one to play, you're like, I'd find you guys made me do this.
Yeah.
You're going to make us lose, so I'm going to play the card. It's like, oh, gee, I was the lowest.
Or everyone calls you an idiot. You know,
Yeah.
when you are allowed to speak.
Well, that happens even when we're not playing games.
That's true. That's true.
So that's our list of top 10 3-player games. There's a couple of games that didn't make the cut. I guess you can call them an honorable mention. I was a big fan of Dave likes Splendor.
Splendor.
As an honorable mention, Everdell. I haven't even gotten to mine yet.
Is yours Wingspan?
No, that Wingspan. Mine was Portal Block. I didn't bring my Portal Block game with us. That is a game that has been out for a couple of years. I think it's a lot of fun. At 3 players, you're like building the board as you go along, and sending people back. You're trying to get to the end, and it's great at 3. But we just had some major issues
at 5.
Yeah, they might have fixed them by now. But we're talking about 3-player games, and that was one that I thought was a lot of fun at 3 players. And then, of course, all of Dave's
honorable mentions.
Yes. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our list. If you did, please go ahead and give us a subscribe. That would be great. We appreciate the support. Or like the video, send us your comments. Let us know what you think of. Let us know what you think of these games at 3 players, or if you've played them more and think that more is better. I would love to know.
Or less.
Or solo.
Or if you're a solo player and you're sick of Dave hating on you this whole video, let us know.
Just go home and play by yourself.
You cannot play mine solo.
Yeah, well, unless you have multiple personalities, perhaps.
Dissociated disorder. Personality disorder.
Okay. Thanks,
We
Doctor.
want to be politically correct nowadays.
Okay. We'll see you next time.